Hello, my peoples, my fellow weirdos. I don't know if I look exhausted, but I'm still recuperating. I was um, at a fight, the Trump takeover, at one of the protests here um, in well, we went to Denville. There was 4 events in Denville today. Two at 2 different places in Denville. We're starting, I think they were 12 to 1 and 12 to 2. And then the one I was at was from 3 to 4:30, and there was one, I believe, from like 3 to 5 or something. And they were at different places by the museum, and they were all different places. But I was the one from 3 to 4:30. And she come got me a little after 2. So from about 2:30 till at least 4:30. And it was hot today. There was some places in the shade. Of course, those were taken pretty fast. So I was in the sun because we didn't want a crowd. And we had some that were coming from the other, they were walking down. I think we're pretty much what Denville had done was, so any Denville resident didn't have to go far. There was 4 separate things, spanning like 5 hours, that you could go to, or go from one to another. So that was pretty cool. I'm not sure how that all converged, but not bad if you lived in the town in Denville, and like me, you didn't have transportation. There was some place not far to get to. So that was really cool. But it was not cool there. And I don't mean atmosphere-wise. We had about 165, 175. But like I said, that wasn't just for one. That was like at one protest. So how many were at the others? Either just before or at the same time. I was going to wear my handmaid's outfit for the first time out on a protest, but it was just too fucking hot. If you've ever put those capes on, I didn't buy like a Halloween thin kind of vinyl looking thing, and it's not like a choir robe or something, because choir robes have actual arms, and sleeves. They're a lot different. Now, if that's all you've got, that's fine, but the actual capes that have like the open slits on the sides for your arm, they're heavy. The one I got, I used part of my election money working for the elections to get it. It was like $40. But I wanted it for something that will last. I was gonna wear it last night, but I chose not to, because I had gone out this morning, just in actually this and my black shorts that I was wearing. I still am. Just taking the garbage one trip to the dumpster. It was like, oh my God. And that was late morning. She didn't pick me up till about 2. Because she wanted to get a decent spot, because, she's like my age type of deal. And, well, anyway, I stayed in the sun for most of it. The last 15 minutes, I couldn't do it. Everybody was like, and several people from Visibility, and if you're watching this, thank you, were like, are you sure? Because I have my walker so I can sit when needed because of my foot. And that's swelled up already. Again, that's all swelled up. And I think I got sunburned, or they were saying I was looking pink. That's why they kept asking, you sure? They were like bringing me water. I'm like, I brought some water. They were really concerned. And maybe I was looking. Smudgy's doing something back there. You can see her. Maybe I was looking a little peaked or something. All of a sudden, you know, when I would make a joke was like, because I didn't want to push the people that needed to be in the sun out. You know, some people had kids and stuff. Um, you know, that I saw a gal with a cane. You know, so I figure people that need to lean on the tree or something. You know, um, yeah, I can already hear you guys. You know, you have to stop being worried about everybody else sometimes and worry about yourself because you can't take care and help others if you don't take care of yourself first. I know. I know. Don't laugh at me. You're going to laugh anyway. But I'm going to tell you. What are you doing, Smudgy? She's trying to get the treats. 1 second. Sorry. She was trying to get the treats, the dry treats, the crunchy treats. And I know she will eventually knock it over and get it open. And I just didn't want to have to clean it all up. Then there's cat hair in it, and so I gave her some cat treats, which Raspy woke up and he's like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then he was like, "That's what I got up for cat treats, crunchy shit." What they wanted was what he likes there. These. I call them lickies. Anyway. It was very humid. I don't think it was the sun as much as the humidity. And you know, you don't want to have to drink so much that you want to have to pee, because usually you're inside of a street somewhere. It's not, or a park or something. It's not like bathrooms everywhere. So, but I'm still feeling it. I got home. I chugged a bunch of fluid. And, I did. I had to lay down. It got me. It got me. And I know heat. I know heat. Living 32 years, I lived in Tucson, Arizona. Humidity, I can't handle. Even when I was young, when I was born here in Jersey. Even when I was young, humidity is what would always give me a headache. Yeah, and in Arizona, the only time there's any humidity is when the monsoons are building. But then it's immediately alleviated after it rains. And it stays alleviated until it starts building up the next, late morning. It got me this time. And, and of course, I'm going to have to not do that. I didn't eat because I, again, didn't want to have to go, yeah. And that would have been fine if it was like an 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock like the others. Having it in later afternoon, I forgot that it's the hottest between 2 and 4. Because that's where all the heat has built up. So I did make an error in not realizing how much the humidity was really going to sack me if I was also in the sun with the humidity and not like in the shade. But I did get my ass into the shade the last 15 minutes, and then they all start breaking up. But I'm okay. I'm still feeling a little woozy. But yeah, I've already drank one of these in water. So, going nowhere tomorrow on Sunday. And of course, since I was starting to feel funky the last half hour, I spend so much time trying to use and I only brought like 2 stand-up signs and 2 holding signs type of things. I didn't bring the entire 14 signs, or 12 or 14, I think it is, signs that I have. And I didn't make a new sign because, I was going to wear the Handmaid's outfit. And I was going to carry my sign that said, regulate guns, not uteruses, which would have been great with the handmaid outfit, especially standing next to the gal that was dressed as the woman suffragette movement. Big hat, the big white skirt with the bustle, she looked, I was like, what is that? Somebody says, I think that's representing women's suffrage. I was like, oh, yes, women's suffrage. Oh, that would have been so good with the handmaid, dudes. Seriously, guys. But yeah, one of the gals from the Visibility Brigade, it was a gal and then a tall guy. You guys, thank you for being concerned, coming over. You sure you're okay? Want some more? Here, take this one. Thank you, guys. Didn't have quite the spunk after an hour there. But see, I take my time there to like make friends with the other peoples, because you never know, they may be going to something. The gal that gets me there, this is the third one. Thank you, Robin. She doesn't go. I mean, she's like my age, you know, she works part-time. Dudes, you know, I mean, she can't make everything that's local here within 20 minutes or a half hour or something. She can't do it all the time. And that's why I've been asking in the groups, because I would be more than happy to lend my loud effing voice and my megaphone to the visibility bridges. And there's some in Denville, which is where I just was. Now, I got a little upset in the groups on Facebook the other day, and I did tell the gal there, I said, I know, I'm the one that made those posts, because it's just very frustrating. You guys are saying, we need people, we need bodies, we need people to show up and protest, come join us. And for months, I'm like, over here, I don't have, and it's like, I don't have a vehicle, but I've got the passion, I've got the drive, I've got rainbow hair, I've got a handmaid's outfit now. I've got a megaphone. I make signs, good signs that you notice because they're color. And one of the reasons I stayed, and they laughed. One of the reasons I stayed in the sun, I said, oh, you don't get it. All the other protests, it was like rainy and overcast, okay? These holographic, you've seen my signs, these holographic glitter looks absolutely fabulous. And it really gets people's attention when it's in the sun. And I got to be in the sun for that. They're like, they said, yeah, all right. Your comfort over, I mean, you know, they said something about the message over comfort. I said, well, it's actually, which is more important, the message or falling into fascism? That's actually the question. And she's like, good point. And I said, that's why I get so frustrated, because so many people where the visibility bridges are, I'm not in the path or near one as in 15 minutes or on the way to, you know. So in other words, I've gotten over the weeks people saying, oh, where are you? And I say where I am. And they're like, oh, that's like 15, 20 minutes out of my way. I was like, okay. And I lost it the other day on several of the groups, 50501, Visibility Brigade, Wade in New Jersey. I mean, there was a lot of them. And I was showing my I Am the Storm bracelet. And I put that picture up, and I was like, you know, it's really frustrating. You have somebody with a loud mouth, somebody that can go to the things, somebody who has signs. And not only that, but I said, if you all bring me stuff to paint on and stuff, I will make the sign. Just bring me the medium. I have the paints. I'll even spray them afterwards with like a clear coat. Because if I hadn't done that with mine in the No Kings thing, it was raining down in Morristown, New Jersey. And some of it came off on me. Some of it actually did. After like towards the end of that was the last time. And if I hadn't had that, the clear gloss on it, it would have gone immediately, you know. And there's only 2 or 3 signs after I let them all dry out that I have to just touch up that didn't pull apart, you know, easily. And that's because I had the clear gloss on it. If I hadn't, they would have stuck together like a fucking mess, and I'd never be able to use them again. And I told her, I says, you know, here somebody, not only that, but I have a pride flag too. And in my next, I'm getting my an order like in another week, and yet y'all know I'm an LGBTQ ally. I myself am not, but I'm an ally. And you see my hair. This is not necessarily a rainbow as much as I also like the hippie tie-dye neon type of awesome trippy shit. I've always loved that. When I was a kid, because I was born in '63, so as a kid in the '70s, watching this shit, being like, I want to wear that when I grow. Of course, those weren't in fashion by the time I got that age, but and not that I care about what's in fashion, but if it's not in fashion, a lot of times you can't find it to buy it. Anyway, and I told her, I said, I know, I said, but you know, what's more important? Going out of your way to pick me up and adding 20 minutes to each way, yeah, that's a pain in the ass. It's like almost an hour extra. Oh, is losing your rights and your way of life more acceptable, more comfortable for you? And she's like, I see what you're saying. I'm like, you know, you guys, everybody begs, please, please, guys, come, show up. We need the bodies. We need people. We need the voices. And when you have somebody saying, over here, yo, I'm still here, they're going, oh, that's kind of out of my way. You're going to a protest to stop your country from falling into a complete dictatorship. And it's inconvenient to go 20 minutes out of your way each way, so another person with enough passion for 4 of you can get to that same event? Is that what you're telling me? And you know, I told her, I said, you know, you guys that you do the bridges every week and stuff at different places and things, I said, Democrats still are not thinking out of the box. Think. I'm not saying somebody has to, one person every time has to do it. How about the next bridge thing? You pick me up and take me home. The bridge event after that, you do it. And the event after that, you take me. You get me there and back. I mean, I'm not even asking for a ride for something for me, per se. It's not like I'm saying, can you get me to this place or that place? And it's out of your way. I'm asking for a ride to help save this fucking country. And they're like, oh, purists. Well, I don't know if I can go out of my way that much. Excuse me? Do you want more fucking people and more voices showing up, or don't you? Because if you do, and then it's too hard, too much time to maybe go pick somebody up that doesn't have the fortune of a vehicle, but that's too hard. But everybody come voice with us. That's hypocritical, guys. I thought the Democrat Party was trying to overcome that. And she said, no, I get what you're saying. I'm like, think out of the box. Nobody said the same person has to take me all the time. Did any of you consider that maybe, well, I can take you this time. Hey, Sam, can you take her next time? No, but I can take her the time after because I got to get somebody. I got something right before okay. So, Sue, can you? Yeah, I can get her the time after that. How about that? It's not like I'm asking because the benefit is mine. I don't benefit other than being able to participate. I thought that's what you guys wanted. More people at the events to participate. But now you're saying it's too much of a bother to get somebody to do that. to take somebody along with you. You got to do better, Democrats. You got to do better when people want to get involved, and they're literally begging just for somebody to get them there and back. And it's too much trouble. She kept saying, they both said, no, I get your frustration. I get what you're saying. I'm like, just look at what it looks like from somebody like my point of view. You're screaming for participation, and when somebody is raring, chomping at the bit to participate, just doesn't have the transportation to get to the events and get home, and oh, that's just far too much trouble to go swing by and get them. Really? And how are people like me supposed to feel when you guys do that? Or, well, you could make a sign for your window. Did I ask for suggestions on how to participate? No. I asked for a ride to the event, not how else could I participate in. And that makes them feel okay, like they gave a helpful suggestion. No. My query was, who can get me there? Who can pick me up and who can't, and get me home? It's like somebody's saying, does anybody have a wedding gown for sale? And somebody writes, I have some baby clothes you can have. How is that going to fucking help with the issue I brought up? It isn't. It's only going to make you feel better that, well, I didn't want to go out of my way to do it, but, yeah, I gave her another suggestion. If somebody says there is no protein in the house, and somebody says, you can have the pancake mix. You can have my pancake mix. I'm like, and how is that helpful? You offered something, but you didn't offer what was needed. So how exactly is that helpful, other than appearing to be caring and helpful? I feel the same way when everybody's like, oh, that's like 20 minutes out of my way. Do you want the participation or don't you? Shit or get off the pot, progressives. You can't be saying we need all voices and then say, you live too far away for me. It's not like you're going a fucking hour out of your way, you know. We're talking 15 or 20 minutes. Yeah. Do better. Do better.